Matthew chapter 2, the New International Version. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together all people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. "In Bethlehem in Judea," they replied, "for this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him." After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route. When they had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. "Get up," he said, "take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." So he got up, took the child and his mother during the night, and left for Egypt, where they stayed until the death of Herod. And so was fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I called my son." When Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious, and he gave them orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity who were 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi. Then what was said through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. "A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted, because they are no more." After Herod died, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother and go to the land of Israel, for those who were trying to take the child's life are dead." So he got up, took the child and his mother and went to the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning in Judea, in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. Having been warned in a dream, he withdrew to the district of Galilee. And he went and lived in a town called Nazareth. So was fulfilled what was said through the prophets, that he would be called a Nazarene. So, going into chapter 2, there's many things to learn from this. We learned that even evildoers are part of God's prophecy. For example, King Herod was a piece in fulfilling the prophecy, "Out of Egypt I called my son." So Joseph went to Egypt partially because of Herod's evil deeds and wickedness, yet that wickedness was part of the context in the prophecy's fulfillment. Another thing we learn here is that God talks to us in dreams. He warned the Magi in the dream to not return to Herod, and an angel in a dream also told Joseph to take his family to Egypt. And then finally, an angel told Joseph to take his family to Nazareth and in Galilee, and not back to where Herod was in Jerusalem. So that's important for us to be aware as we're preparing for sleep, to be open to be inspired by the Lord, because we learn from Matthew chapter 2 that he often talks to us in dreaming. And then the third point I'll finish with is some more information about Herod. In many ways, Herod is the opposite of Joseph, because when Herod realized that he was tricked by the Magi and that they weren't going to return to him, he sought revenge by killing all the male children under 2 in Judah and the surrounding villages. And that's very brutal. That's basically someone tricks you and then you commit genocide, is kind of the spirit of revenge. Like, revenge doesn't usually have this like eye for an eye mentality. I know in The Godfather too, the opening scene of The Godfather, whereas it's that smaller man with the mustache, and his daughter was attacked by by some people, and the man wanted the assailants to be murdered by the Corleone family. And the Don Corleone, not Michael but the older one, said that it wasn't right to meet that like violent physical violence with murder, because his daughter was still alive. And so even someone as evil as Don Corleone was less evil than King Herod, because he was cognizant of the fact that you don't meet an evil crime with more evil. Maybe Don Corleone met evil with equal evil, but Herod goes and meets a little bit of evil of trickery with genocide. So that shows you how evil is basically an endless pit. You can get worse and worse and worse. But contrasting that to Joseph, where Joseph thought originally that Mary had been unfaithful, that she had tricked him, I guess, in a way, and he met that evil, perceived evil, with love, even before the angel informed him of what was to come. But that's what we should do, is that we should meet the evil against us with love, just like Joseph did, and not at all like Herod. And that's very important, to meet evil with love. We'll learn later on in the Gospel of Matthew, we'll learn about how you need to forgive everyone who's done bad to you in order to get your prayers answered. But I'll leave it there. I think that's a good place to stop for Matthew chapter 2. Lord, here in this chapter, the second chapter of the Gospel of Matthew, we, as Christians, we learned about how deep of a pit evil is. The example of Herod perceiving that someone had tricked him and meeting that trickery with genocide, how much more evil Herod was than Jesus' earthly father, Joseph. Lord, I ask that you, everyone who's watching this video and who are around the world that is reading Matthew chapter 2, to come down into their lives and protect them from the endless pit that is evil. We learned about the evil of Herod, Lord, but we know that there's even more evil beyond that. And we're going to learn more about evil in the Bible as we study here. So Lord, in Jesus' name, we ask you humbly to protect us from the evil, deliver us from evil. Amen.